Hello and welcome back to Tea at the Ritz with Tricia. It's 4 o'clock. I hope you've got a nice cup of tea in front of you and I'm delighted you could join me. What is nice about our Super Troopers page on Facebook is that you're starting to post photographs of yourselves and wow, what a fabulous and glamorous bunch of women you are. So impressive. Especially beautifully made up and usually beautifully dressed. So I can put faces to names in front of me now, and I'm really delighted to see so many familiar faces in the room. So welcome. Yesterday, I wanted to stress the importance of a holistic approach to health during this difficult time, making sure that every day you're caring for yourself physically, mentally, and also from the point of view of your social needs. And I talked about various ways to do that, the good things to do and the things to make sure that you're absolutely avoiding. I thought I'd turn to a slightly lighter subject today, but one that's very dear to my heart in the sense that it causes me a lot of bother, and that's my feet and the shoes that I choose to wear on them. When I was younger, I had not a huge wardrobe of shoes. I'm not a shoeaholic like some people, but I had nice shoes for each occasion and I would vary them according to what I wore. Obviously, I also often wore dresses and skirts and felt good in them. Since I've got older, my feet have become a lot less accommodating. They're basically quite painful a lot of the time, especially if I wear the wrong shoes or try and stand in them for a long period of time. My problem is that I've got arthritis in my toes, not badly, but occasionally they're very painful. But if I wear the wrong shoes, the pressure on my toes, especially if I wear a heel, and it pushes my foot into that position, it's really excruciating. And after about an hour or so, I just have to take the shoes off and relieve the pressure on my toes. It's awful. In fact, there's a story attached to that, which I will tell you, but it's very much a story against myself. When I had my 60th birthday party, my family, in the shape of my two daughters and their husbands, took me to an extremely upmarket, glamorous restaurant in London. And for the occasion, I decided to buy a new pair of shoes from LK Bennett. They were quite expensive, they were suede, and they had a heel probably about that big. And I just thought, they'll be fine, no problem. So I dolled myself up, put on quite a glamorous dress, and put these shoes on, and managed to get to the restaurant, no problem at all. When I got into the restaurant, sat down, my feet started to hurt. I think they were starting to swell up a little bit. So I kicked my shoes off underneath the table. Now, I don't drink. I've never drunk in my life, and I am teetotal and always have been. So I was drinking as usual, soft drinks. And at the end of the evening, I came to put my shoes on, and I couldn't get my feet into them. So underneath the table, I was trying to ram my feet, which had now swollen, into these new shoes, and I couldn't get them on. What I should have done was to walk out of the restaurant with no shoes on my feet, just holding them, carrying them. What I did, stupidly, was to actually finally ram my feet into the shoes like Cinderella's ugly sisters. And I stood up and then discovered that I couldn't walk very well. So my two daughters, one either side of me, practically carried me out of this very smart restaurant. And I know that everybody in the restaurant thought I was so drunk that I couldn't walk. So I was absolutely mortified. And from that moment, which was 12 years ago, I vowed that I would never, ever get myself in that situation again. So what I do now, if I do put a pair of what I know will become uncomfortable shoes on in my bag, I put another pair to change into. And in the worst case comes to the worst, I can just slip on some nice, well, actually something like this, if I be honest with you, a pair of pumps like this, and I can get out of the restaurant without any bother whatsoever. So that's my horrific shoe story, and since then I've learnt my lesson. I now buy shoes that fit my feet rather than my head, because if I buy shoes that fit my head, honestly, I'm going to be in agony before very long. So what do? How do I get around it? Now, my biggest problem also is that I have heavy legs. my legs are a little bit, at the bottom half, a bit like tree trunks. They're very straight. I don't have nice ankles. I haven't got a nice curve in my calf or anything like that. They're pretty horrible, my legs. And they need, with a skirt or a dress, a heel. And without that, I feel frumpy, to be honest with you. So I get around that by always wearing trousers. Fortunately, trousers are fashionable. Fortunately, you can get trousers that go from, very sporty jeans, things like that, through to quite formal, glamorous, beautiful, gorgeous trousers. And that's basically how I now compromise with my dress. I dress up the top half. I keep the bottom half almost invisible, usually in black or navy or very dark trousers. In the summer, I will wear white ones. And then I find shoes that work with that. Now, last year it was brilliant because there was a fashion. Please let it last into the summer this year. Well, when we get out of our confinement anyway, and people are walking around, for sports shoes to be worn with absolutely everything. Now, I bought myself this pair. I'm glad it's not smell-o-vision, because I tell you what, I've worn these a lot and they don't smell very nice. They smell of feet. But I bought them in John Lewis. I'm sorry I can't tell you the brand because it's worn away inside. I can't read it anymore, but they were in John Lewis, but you can get these anywhere. They're white leather and they're quite nice because they've got a bit of sort of interesting suede on the back, and then they've got these tassels. So they're slightly, they're a bit loaferish. I wore those with everything last summer. I obviously wore them with trouser suits, and I even wore them with a skirt from time to time, a long skirt. I got quite a nice long skirt from Zara with little tiny pleats in it. It comes almost to my ankles. And I felt, because it is fashionable to wear these with absolutely anything, I felt okay, not too frumpy, although not 100% convinced at the beginning. But they were absolutely my go-tos for the whole of last year. I'm going to show you one or two of the other shoes that I have in my collection, and really so that it is possible with flat shoes to get a variety now, and some of the brands, some of the makes that actually cater quite well for older feet. I'm sure that you find this too, and you will have your favourite brands. Do share those with us because it's helpful. Fit flops are quite good. Now, fit flops do, obviously they do, I can't wear fit flop sandals. I've got a very high arch at the front of my foot. I don't mean arch, do I? It's that bit at the front. It's quite high, and it means that the sandals that FitFlop have are very uncomfortable on me. But they've started doing sort of loaferish type shoes like this. Now these are actually gorgeous. I've got two pairs of these, and they're very comfortable. I've got a black patent pair with a sort of a pony skin front bit. And then I've got these, which are nice for the summer. And they've got a little bit of heel on them, so you're not completely flat. I've already shown you these. I have had hundreds of pairs of these. That sounds like a gross exaggeration. They're from Hobbs. I think they're about £70 or £80, and they do them in lovely colours. This was a perfect colour for me last summer. I always have a black pair on the go, and I will wear them to death. They become slippers. But they are super comfortable. If you can cope with a completely flat shoe and you don't need a little bit more support or structure for your foot, but I would recommend those every time. Also last year I did buy myself a pair of sandals. These are Clarks, and because they're wedge, because my foot is actually not too compromised in something like this. These were nice when I was down on holiday in France. And the other problem that I have with my feet is that one is bigger than the other. And as a result, shoes that fit, that I have to pack the left foot, which is too small. But these ones have got elasticated back bit. So actually I could get away with those on my not slipping off the back, which is what happens. Now, what about my new shoes? So excited this morning. I had a delivery. This is a company called Mandarina. They do some really pretty shoes, Mandarina. They have lovely pumps. They're great for wedding shoes, but they've got a really, really nice selection. And I'm going to start with my sports shoe du jour. So my new sports shoes for this year are these from Mandarina. They come with different laces, which is quite fun. They're canvas, do have a look at them on their website, and you can see that they've got these pale blue laces, they've got these little spotty laces, can you see those? And then I've put these in. They obviously come with white laces in them. I've put these in, which are terrific. They're such fun and very comfortable. And you can see that they're going to keep my foot nice and flat, and they've got quite a nice platform on them, which means that they will give me some height. All good. The others that I've got from there, these were the ones that I was talking about of possibly evening. Now they're sliders. These are a new type of shoe. They're going to be everywhere this year, very fashionable. And these are pink suede. Can you see what a lovely colour they are? And they are so comfortable. I put them on this morning and they're perfectly comfortable to walk in. So I think something like this for me for the summer, with a pair of, loose linen trousers maybe, or even just ordinary white jeans, are going to be absolutely lovely. And I'm very enthusiastic about them because I think they're going to be comfortable. And I did get a third pair, which I'll show you, which you might like. Still sliders. These are red suede, and they've got this nice sort of buckle thing at the front, and they're lovely. I think they're great. And I think that slider effect, because I have different sized feet, is going to work for me. Don't have to worry about the strap falling off the back. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed that. It was a bit of fun. It was a bit of light relief after some of the subjects that I've covered, and I thought you might enjoy just giving some consideration to shoes and your feet, and possibly to buying something for yourself, treating yourself to something which will be all ready for you when you get let out. And on the subject of being let out, as I said, I always like to end on a positive note. I've just been listening to the news, and 1 or 2 places are starting to relax some of their lockdown measures. So it will come for us as well sometime in the future, when we've come through this horrible sort of dark and pretty desperate phase that we're going through. Anyway, KBO, don't forget, and I shall very, very much look forward to seeing you again tomorrow, when I might be talking about meditation. Would you like to hear a little bit about meditation? I'm sure you would. So I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Bye-bye.